Okay, I forgot to turn the mic on. So now I'm gonna do this again, and we'll see that kitty cat over there sleeping. Anyways, so this is the bike, the Apollo update. This is the RX-18, and I'm just gonna tell you some things that I've not appreciated about the bike. First off, we're going to go over the carburetor. That carburetor that comes on that bike is no good. It's hard to, oh, she's got fuel coming out still. But you can see they machined the little bolt heads to where there's no Phillips or a hex bolt or anything. So you can't take it apart when it gets dirty. They expect you to have this thing clean at all times so that you don't have to take it apart. I ended up drilling out the plug right here. There's a plug right there, brass plug, so you can actually adjust your stuff. I don't even know for sure, but this thing did not run good at all on my bike. Every time you romped on it, the throttle, like, it would just bog out. It would idle and stuff fine, but it just would not go fast. It was just like you could putt and that's about it. And I did not want that. The air filter, this isn't the exact filter. I already threw away the other air filter, but this is pretty much what it was. I don't really like these things because for dirt, it's just, I don't know, they don't seem like they'll catch a lot of crap, and so you'll get stuff going in your carburetor, into your crappy carburetor that you can't clean, and then you just have an even crappier running bike. So I bought the Amazon kit that was $34 and fixed all that. Try and see if I can get this. So in there, the carburetor. It says it's a Mikuni, but a $30 Mikuni, I don't think so. It's some Mikuni, but it came with that carburetor, and then there's a black foam filter. The foam filter has 2 layers to it, and trying to adjust this so you can see it, but it's very hard to see because of my lighting. But it's 2-layered, like you'll have an outer, it's like a more coarse foam, and then the inner one has a spring support on the inside, and it's a fine foam. Will catch, more particles and stuff, but I usually will, put some foam oil on that outer, the coarse one, and then at the back end of the fine one, because it's not covered with that coarse one. And usually I'll call that good and just run that for a bit. But it's as soon as I hooked up, sorry, I didn't tell you everything. So it came with the foam filter, the carburetor, and the intake, the aluminum intake. And as soon as I hooked it up, it ran like a dream. I didn't even do any adjustments, and it just ran awesome. And for $34, that's an awesome fix. That's what I've liked about this bike so far. Everything is pretty freaking cheap. It got rid of all the tubing and things from the other air filter, because that other air filter has a tip on the end of it that runs some tubing for your intake, and I don't know, it had a weird catch in it. I don't even know exactly what you call it, but you got to make sure that you cut that line that comes off your crankcase, because it connects to that other air filter tubing stuff. I'm trying to see if I can get a better angle for this lighting, because it is just a pain. But let's see here, it's still just dark. But anyway, right there, that guy, you got to make sure that thing is breathing good, that it's not obstructed, and there's good airflow, because if you have that thing clogged off, it's going to run like crap, and you'll probably start blowing seals like around your sprocket and maybe around the shifter, or I don't know, just anywhere where oil, where there's an oil seal. I don't know, it wouldn't be good. So make sure that crankcase tube is well ventilated If you're mud bogging, don't have that tube pointed straight down and going in deep stuff. You'll just suck it up into there, and then you're gonna ruin your engine pretty quick. So if you're doing any kind of deep water stuff, make sure you route that tubing up higher through the frame somewhere. Hey there, cakers. Hopefully you can hear me with the wind and stuff. But yeah, so just watch that. Make sure you change your oil a lot. I change my oil every couple of rides. I just do that Lucas 10W40, I believe. I can't remember exactly, but don't run that. Everyone says to not run the oil that comes with the bike. I ran it for like a couple seconds, like 10 minutes, and then I changed it. The other thing is the rim lock. I installed a rim lock because the other day I was out riding and the tube spun and popped the tire. And I took it apart, the valve stem was just sheared right off. So make sure, if you get this bike, that's like your two main things, is making sure that you get a rim lock installed and a carburetor, adjustable carburetor. The rim lock, I honestly don't know if I put it in the right spot. I was kind of going off of my KLX, and like they're pretty close. If you look at the valve stem and then you look at the rim lock, it's close. I don't know if it's right or not. I was just kind of going off what my KLX looked like. The size of rim lock I did was a 1.85, because that's what it says on the actual rim. It says 14, and then it says width was 185. On the tire it says 215, but I just went off of the rim. But I have to switch out the batteries. Sorry about that, battery was dying, so I had to switch out the batteries. Hey there, cakers. There, cakers cat. But anyway, the other complaints was the seat. The seat's pretty freaking rough. You'll get used to it. I did, but you know, you might be able to find somebody out there, some place that does a custom cushy seat. But I get a lot of complaints with my buddies that ride it, and they say it's stiff, very stiff. The clutch is also stiff, pretty hard to squeeze, but I'm fine with it. The freaking rubber thing, you know, you can see there that it just pushes against it. This thing slides. I haven't put any like grip glue or anything like that. These when you're jumping and stuff, these things will cack against the forks, so you kind of have to keep that in mind, and you know that you're not breaking stuff. It's just those plastic things hitting. But like the quality, like compared to like a KLX, like the Kawasaki's and stuff, everything's just like a little, I don't know, it's not as bulky as like my Kawasaki. It's, you know, a little more thinner. Like on the engine, you know, like these fins, you know, everything's more bulky on the Kawasaki. This, you know, feels a little more flimsy, but still like it's durable. Like I haven't busted anything on it, and I'm pretty heavy, and it's been handling just fine. You really got to be careful with bolts and stuff. I've had like this big bolt right here, it's loosened up on me. The bolts right here on the handlebars have loosened up. I've had a couple on the heat shield. I already lost the bolt on that, but I found one that'll work from my kit that fixed that. So you gotta be checking bolts. But it's like any bike, whatever brand it is, you'll have bolts rattling off. So it's not really just because it's a Chinese cheap bike, but just be watching that a lot. And I will try and do a update, not an update, but a comparison to other bikes like that KLX I have, and we'll just do some comparing there. Honestly, like as of now, I would prefer this bike still. It still does awesome with for what I want and the price. I would consider getting another one of these. I might get a 250 Apollo, the 250cc. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe get a KLR. I'm still trying to decide that, but let me know if there's videos that you guys want to see. about the Apollo or if there's any other videos. I'm starting to get a little windy here. Need to close the garage door. Give me a second. Sorry, it was starting to get a little too windy out there. But if you could hit me a good old thumbs up and a like and subscribe, and I'll try and keep some videos going on this and also on other stuff hopefully soon. The channel is pretty much just about anything with motors. I like that stuff. Motorcycles, cars, trucks. So we'll kind of see, but like I said, hit me up with anything in the comments, and we'll have you guys have a good old Apollo day.